I think if they win the first 5 innings, they win the game.
What a hot take, man.
If they score more runs,
If they
will
score
win the
more
game.
runs, they will win the game.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Diamond Podcast here on the Apollo Podcast Network. Brian LaLima, ApolloDez, Astros here with you. We got the sticky stuff. We got sweat. We got rosin. We got everything here for you as the Astros and Phillies are tied at 1 game apiece. They are headed to Philly for World Series games 3, 4, and 5. Dez, Josh, how we feeling after 2 games at Minute Maid Park?
Yesterday was a must-win, and they won. And I think that's a statement to the team, to Dusty, to everyone in the organization. You don't want to have a must-win in Game 2 of the World Series, but they did, and they executed. And now it's a best of 5, and you like to think you have the advantage with Lance McCullers Jr. and Christian Javier against a bullpen game and a rookie. So being able to take care of business, splitting is it's not always good, but in the realities of it all, you split. Now it's a best of 5, and we move.
Just means you have to win 2 or 3 in Philly.
Yeah, and I think it lines up. I think it lines up well with what you have. I think obviously you could play the coulda, shoulda, woulda game. All we should be up to nothing. Blah blah blah. I mean, I did to myself walking back to the car on Main Street, but I was like, you know what, splitting's good. So what's y'all's vibes?
I think my vibe is, I'm starting the podcast with this hat on. I was gonna
ask you, is that an illegal hat?
The hat is legal as of right now. The hoodie is also legal. You can find both of these pieces of merch at apollohou.com. So check that out. Bear Me in the H hat, F and Nasty Lance McCullers Jr. hoodie. I digress. My vibes are, Phillies fans are fucking soft. We can dig into the team and how the Astros played in a couple of minutes, but let's just get to this. Marty Maldonado used a bat that didn't meet the Major League Baseball specs. It was not a competitive advantage. It was a safety issue because Major League Baseball outlawed that version back in 2010 because it was flying into too many pieces when it broke. Albert Pujols had his grandfathered in, so again, it was not a competitive advantage issue. It was a safety issue. You know that's a really bad conspiracy theory when Dan Clark is the voice of reason and he's defending the Astros. So, they ran with that and fuck Tom Verducci for running that article and not giving further context to why.
Yeah, the ESPN tweet was just
that one too.
Horribly. Yeah.
Yeah. Marley Rivera.
This broke during the game, correct?
Yeah, mid-game.
Maldi's first at-bat. Marley Rivera of ESPN wrote the article, and the ESPN headline was Maldonado. I forgot the exact headline. Y'all can look it up. But basically, it didn't give any context. It just insinuated that Marty Maldonado and the Houston Astros are still cheating.
Well, and they put his stats like that mattered.
Right.
They're like, Martin Maldonado.
Oh, he was one.
Deemed,
yeah.
He's deemed for using an illegal bat. He went 1 for 3 with an RBI. And it's like, what does that matter?
And then Marley Rivera quote tweets it and says, for more context, and then he lists the details of how it was a safety concern rather than a competitive advantage concern. So the tweet goes out from ESPN.
It was really no big deal at all.
No, it's not. But of course, anything and everything that people can do to label the Astros cheaters, they're going to do. So that's number one. Number two, it's something that we have seen Framber Valdez do it all year long in every game. He's always rubbing up baseballs. He's always messing with his glove, messing with this. He's doing everything.
He's a sweaty boy.
We have seen it all season long. He changed his glove and he changed his cleats. He came out with like some custom yellow-orange cleats. He had a 2-tone glove. He changes it, and oh my God, Phillies fans, actually pretty much all opposing fan bases, like took that and ran with it. I saw so many different tweets from Philadelphia media, specifically radio guys, that were bitching and moaning and complaining about him and having a sweaty hand, taking his glove off and then rubbing his right hand, even though he's a left-hander. Oh, is he hiding the sticky substance in his glove? Yeah, right. Okay, so here's my thing. Let's say he did have it on his glove hand, okay, his right hand, and he's rubbing up baseballs, which we saw all game long and we saw all year. Okay, that would be one way to add sticky substance to the baseball, correct? I think we can all assume that, right?
Yeah.
After he gets done with that inning, if he was using sticky substance on his right hand, his glove hand, and he was using it to throw with his left hand, wouldn't the sticky substance still be on his hand?
Yeah.
And he was
Wherewithal.
getting checked. How many times did they get checked?
Every inning, every other inning.
And they're like, why aren't they checking his right hand? He's wiping his right hand off.
They check both hands.
Dude.
And the hat.
They go like this. Yeah.
And if they need to, they can check his ears like they check the ears of Joe Musgrove when they're playing the Mets. Especially
if all these fans are noticing this, I guarantee the umpires are watching as well.
Oh,
and they check, and they're like, okay, he's good.
And Rob Thompson the manager of the Phillies was asked about it, and he said, yeah, we saw that he does all these little things, but he's done it in the past. We saw him do it his last outing.
It almost seemed like he was perturbed, and that's obviously like Thompson, like he's a rival coach in the World Series, and he was just like, yeah, like if something was actually going on, they would have caught it. Like they would have done it right there. And
I think he doesn't want the excuses either.
Yeah, and I think if you want to make an argument for anything, it's Framber having 97, 98 out of his ass. Like that's what I would hang my hat on, but not the spin. I think his spin was actually like I think 87 RPMs different, and I was like,
at one point,
that's adrenaline. Like
at one point,
within normal deviation.
At one point, it was 76 RPMs higher. At one point, and I think it got up to 80, whatever it was. That's not 200-300 RPMs higher.
Yeah.
And I think it just shows the casual fan watching baseball in the social media world during the World Series. Like we've seen Framber change his outfit multiple times. Framber Valdez is a guy, doesn't matter if he gets up 10 runs or he has 10 strikeouts. He's going to have 1,000 Instagram stories about his day. Like that is Framber Valdez. He loves the flair. He loves the theatrics. He loves the antics, and he's done it time and time again. And so I think it just shows off like the casual fan watching and the casual media person covering the game in the World Series. And we've talked about it on here. We're one of, arguably one of the top people to cover it here in Houston, and we're not credentialed. But you have LA Times and like the Philadelphia Inquirer, like TMZ, all these other people here, and then they see it run with the fucking headline grab because they're going to get clicks and interactions and engagement. Hey, create some original fucking content and get your own engagement rates up. Yeah, get your numbers up.
Anything that mentions Astros and potential cheating is going to get. They're going to get.
We could title this YouTube episode and be like Astros cheating. And we'd be like, that. It'd be like 150K views.
We should
like bare minimum, and it's just a troll on all the fucking casuals who don't watch baseball, don't realize who's pitching. Like it's no difference if Wheeler changed gloves or cleats. Like. Baseball players are weird. Pitchers are even weirder, and they have their own different shticks, and they have their own different things. And baseball players are just creatures of habit. And if something feels off and weird, they're gonna change it. We saw Bregman literally shave a mustache off in the middle of a game last year. Baseball players do their own stuff and have some fucking wherewithal at the end of the day, and don't take a little cheesy fucking tweet and say Astros cheating just because you can't get your engagement numbers up.
How many times have you seen a player that never uses batting gloves in the middle of a slump, in the middle of the game, go and put batting gloves on? How many times have we seen guys come out wearing a certain set of cleats in the middle of the game, they go and switch to a different set of cleats? And you hit it perfectly, Des. If you've never been around a pitcher or hung out with a pitcher, they are weird fucking people. That's why they're called POs. That's why they're called pitcher only. Framber Valdez does all these different little quirky things on the mound that we have seen in his entire career. And you can literally see it. Like if you want to get, even more in depth to it, watch what he does before a game. Like when he's on the mound, he's literally sitting there on the mound with his eyes closed, looking up, breathing because of the sports psychology that he's been going through and the coaching that he's gone through to help with the mindset. Alex Bregman and Altuve talked about in the postgame media availability. The biggest thing they've seen from Framber Valdez is the mindset and the self-confidence in him because he took the extra step to hire some kind of sports psychologist or whatever the correct title is of that coach that is helping him with this. So he's going to do all these little quirky things. But people that are that hate the Astros or are playing against them will do anything and everything to find a way to try to say that the Astros are cheating. And last night there were 2 instances, if you're a casual fan, that you were going to sit back and say, look, the Astros are cheating. They're using illegal bats. Check everybody else. And oh my God, the guy on the mound is definitely using some kind of sticky substance. But in reality, the Astros are just fucking good. And they have been good. Look at this run that they are on. 6 straight ALCS appearances. 4 out of the last 6 years they've been to the World Series. Stop with the bullshit. Stop with the let's find cheating allegations. Let's do this. Let's do that. Find more original ways to get better clicks on the internet. Be better at your job and write some shit with some substance.
And I think a big thing, as Brian is just
God,
full
dude,
dragon fire.
It's fucking beyond me, dude. It fucking frustrates the hell out of me. Why can't people just sit back and say, you know what? They cheated. They did some shady shit in 2017. Okay. Dude, it is 2022. We are on the verge of 2023. Let that shit go, man. Let it go.
That's where I give props to some of them that do it right.
Right. And then there's so many other organizations that have been accused of doing the same thing. And we've said this 1,000 times here on Beyond the Diamond. The Astros were made out to be the scapegoat because it was a league-wide problem and they just wanted it to keep it in-house with just the Astros, because if you open up that can of worms, it shows that every single team in this fucking league is doing the same thing or was doing the same thing. Here we are in 2022 and people are still talking about it.
I think it, like, look, the Astros don't have the benefit of the doubt, right? But what they do have is sustained success, sustained wins. They're in another World Series, and they have an opportunity to put it all to bed with 3 more wins. And that's probably only going to put to bed like the tip of the iceberg. You're still going to have a bunch of people chirping and saying they did shit, but who fucking cares? They're not a fan anyways. They're just doing it to get engagement and get interactions and do all that. So fuck those people, because we're going to win for the people that actually love this team, love the city, love this fan base, love everything about them. And that's who you win for at the end of the day. I'm not playing and winning for the people to change their opinions. Their opinions are going to be with them forever. 2080, the Astros are still going to get booed in opposing parks. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Play for your teammate, play for your brother, play for the name on the chest, like Blummer said. And at the end of the day, that's who you play for and that's who you win for. Like, I don't care about anyone else. Like, when we do content, it's not for all the haters and all the people. It's for the people that believe in us. It's for the people that have stuck their necks out for us and believe in our product. And it's the same thing with the Astros, dude. They're not playing to change those people's perspective or their opinions. Right. They're not. No, I mean, and they're not gonna change. That's just human nature. But who they are playing for is their teammate, their brother, their families, everything like that. And I think it just brings them together. And as we shift to go to Philly, the Philly fanatics, I mean, yes, they're going to be loud. I mean, they're the same group of people that were eating horse shit after they won the Super Bowl. Like, they are just a different fanatic of a fan, and they're going to be loud. But it's nothing that guys haven't seen. Seattle was loud. The Bronx was loud for a minute. And so, like, it's nothing's going to change. We have Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound in a big game, and I wouldn't want anyone else to send a message early and often what Lance McCullers Jr. is going to do. And I think that's what Framber Valdez did yesterday. He stepped up. He kept them all off balance. I think he ended up with nine punch outs last night, over 6 1/3. Got double plays when he needed it. I mean, hell, he had almost damn 30 pitches in the first inning, and he went 6 1/3. Like, Dusty, and we'll get into the offense just jumping all over Wheeler, but Dusty treated him like a staff ace and a workhorse that we've seen time and time again. Hey, I have an off day tomorrow, right? Let's not use the pen, extend the pen until we have to. Let's send the guy back out there. And that's what they did.
I was going to ask you, what'd y'all think of that? Him sending him out for the 7th.
I liked it because of the lead, and trying to steal an inning. I guess he technically just stolen out, but it was interesting. Montero going like 35 pitches was very interesting after the whole Schwarber foul home run, and then to the warning track, and then facing Harper with the guys on. Like, that was very interesting to me. But I thought the game was managed well. And look, I think Josh, you have the tweet, or you put in the group message, you didn't like the Phillies seeing our arms, and I agree. Like, it's kind of, circa 2017 and 19, like they're getting to see the top arms.
What?
But you had to win. It was a must win. You had the day off.
And when I sent that, I didn't realize Montero was going to go for an inning and a half.
Yeah.
So they haven't seen Stanek, or they saw Stanek for 1 out, game 1. They saw Neris for only 1 out, game 1 as well. So
they've only seen Press and Montero overextended, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they saw Abreu for an inning and a half, inning and 2/3.
But I mean, they're starting to see the bullpen. They saw the bullpen a little bit, but I mean, boys, we're in the World Series. Like, these are
who cares at this point?
I get it to a standpoint, but then again, it's like, who else? What else are you going to do?
No, you got to win.
Yeah, and look, like, we don't have to rehash game 1. I mean, we all went through. We all saw what happened. Justin Verlander got 5 runs, and he couldn't finish the deal, right? And so I think, and what the bullpen has done and continue to do all season has just been fucking nails. And so I think yesterday, by throwing Neris and Montero and Presley, like, you had to win that game. And even though
Montero and Press yesterday,
Montero and Press, not Neris. So it was 5-1, but yet, and like we talked before we came on, there was the Pena fielding the ball in the hole, trying to toss it to Altuve for whatever happened. Yuli had an error. Pena going out to right field when Kyle Tucker's calling for the baseball. Luckily, they made the play. But if a couple of those things don't go for the Astros, then who knows what the hell happens. So even though it was 5-1, you may say, oh, wow, 4 runs. Well, we saw what happened the other night. So I think regardless, like, you have to go with your guys. And if they beat your guys for whatever the reason is, if they hit them around, then look, you tip your cap, and that's big league baseball. I mean, I just think, like, the biggest feel for me right now is I was in the clubhouse after game 1, and there was not one bit of concern. You could just feel it as you walked in. It's like Stanek talked about it, Tucker talked about it, and they both said, look, baseball happened tonight. Baseball happened. There was a couple of hits here, a couple of things went their way, didn't go our way, and baseball happened. But, dude, it's just one loss. We'll be back tomorrow.
And I think you saw it yesterday with the offense taking it to Zach Wheeler. They had the game plan to jump on him early. I think they had a really good game plan. Obviously, 3 doubles to start the game is awesome. The hustle down the line, the hard 90 to make a tough throw from the shortstop and not a pick. And so we stole a run there. And so I think this team just has this quiet confidence, and the Phillies, I think, needed 2 in Houston. I truly believe that. And splitting is an optimal win, even though probably Houston should be up 2-0. They coulda, shoulda, wouldas. But you have this team starting to heat up, and it starts with Mr. Altuve up top with 3 knocks, right? And we saw it spread it all over the place, left, center, right. And obviously Jeremy Pena's been a dude in the playoffs, been a dude all year. Yordan Alvarez looks like he's turning around, had some really good at-bats as of late, even though the hit column isn't on fire, but I think he's taking really, really good approaches to the plate. And then Alex Bregman, and I said it on our postseason preview before the ALDS, the guy was my dog of October, my guess, and he's just been an absolute dude. This is 2019 runner-up MVP Alex Bregman in this form for the last 4.5 to 5 months.
Yeah, I think what the lineup is, with what we've seen with Altuve here lately, if he gets going and continues, and he rides that into Philly, like, look out, because we know that the Astros go as he goes, and they made things happen when he wasn't going earlier on in the playoffs. But now you're starting to see good at-bats. And the big tell for me last night for Altuve is the baseball that he hit to right
field. Yeah.
It's up.
It's 100%.
Dude, it's up. He gets the foot down, and it was like, I mean, let the baseball get as deep as possible and literally just slap it the other way. That's vintage Altuve. And the ball was up damn near above almost to his chin. And he's able to
when he's hitting those and pulling doubles,
and he keeps
that's an insane
the
game.
hands inside, slaps the other way. That's vintage Jose Altuve. That's when you're like, oh shit, here he comes. Like he's coming.
I didn't hate the stolen base attempt. That was a perfect throw by
He
Realmuto and tag, and a hell of a tag.
A hell of a tag, man. Hell of a play all around. Tip your cap and keep moving. No, I figured at one point last night he was going to try to steal second. And in that moment, it made sense, and he just got thrown out. It's not bad base running. It's just a better play by the catcher and by Gene Segura.
What do we make of the fact that the Astros have scored all their runs off of only Nola and Wheeler? They haven't scored a run off the bullpen yet. Are we concerned, or we think
I'm not concerned. I mean, we knew coming in. I think for me, we knew coming in. Like, I mean, Nola and Wheeler are good, but they're not the best frontline starters.
I think it's advantage Astros in the sense that they haven't got to him yet, but a bullpen game looms, and you're going to see these guys again. And it's the second and third time the Astros start seeing the people, the numbers start ticking up. And so I think
which was a good play by Rob Thompson last night, not throwing
100%
any of his main guys.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have because of the score, chasing 5. But I think we've seen an appropriate amount of their bullpen for the first 2 games. I think you take that. Obviously getting on their ace and getting on to their number 2 is always a good thing, but seeing these guys, and I think the bullpen game in game 3 only helps the Astros down the line even further, because after the bullpen game, it's a rookie lefty that pitched game 1, so that was another time you got to see him. So the Astros just they make so many damn good adjustments once you start getting real actual at bats versus the arms, and so all in all, in the split, I think we maximize the split, if that makes sense.
We should go into game 5 up 3-1.
Yeah, I mean it's advantage.
You got Noah Syndergaard is starting game 3 for the Phillies. They should light him up.
They've seen him 1,000 times.
1,000 times with him being in LA and or with the Angels, and I mean they should absolutely light him up. Absolutely light him up.
And you have a chance to jump on him early, I think, again, and get that crowd out of it. And there's a big game pitcher in Lance McCullers Jr., who's on the road. It seems like all his starts are just on the road this year. And I mean, I would almost say the Seattle crowd was going to be louder than the Philly crowd. And he just pitched in 2 weeks ago. So I think it lines up well. The Astros, obviously, it's now a best of 5 with 3 games in Philly. You just steal 1. It's back to Houston at least for a game 6. But you got to feel good. Obviously, 2-0 would have been a little bit better. But look, it's the World Series. You got dogs on the other side, and I just like how we're lined up right now.
Yeah.
Correction.
What's up?
Correction on that. The Astros actually only saw Noah twice this year. He pitched 2 games and went 9.1 innings and allowed 3 runs. So he did decent.
Yeah,
not bad.
Saw him twice.
But I mean, you think of that, and then you think about what Nola did earlier this year to the Astros, and look what they did to him game 1.
Yeah, I think his stuff is perfect for the Astros to face.
Yeah. So for it being lined up perfectly, you've got Lance McCullers Jr. and then you've got Christian Javier, solidified starters, and then the Phillies are on the other side of it with Syndergaard probably going to be a bullpen game, and then who knows with the rookie, he could either come out and absolutely fucking shove or he'll shit the bed. I mean, it's one or the other, I think, with the rookie. So,
and I think we could segue in the Q&A because actually, Brian's
Q&A up.
Yeah, Larry the GM actually makes a really, really, really good point right here. If the Astros win game 3 and if they win big, he doesn't think Suarez will throw game 4. Nola will. And I don't necessarily hate that because I think Thompson doesn't want to pitch Suarez if he doesn't have to. If they're up, yeah, he will. But if they're down, I think he'll just, he's old school baseball. I think he'll revert to, my guys, because Nola would pitch on short rest, but that would be Wheeler's full rest for game 5. Like, I don't think they want I think at that point they're going to try to maximize the games in Philly before it shifts back to Houston, and then they figure out games 6 and 7. So, Brian, I don't know what your opinion is on that. We'll just start with Larry's question right there.
I think what was the question again?
He doesn't think if the Astros win Game 3 that they'll move up Nola to short rest for Game 4 instead of Suarez.
I mean, I can see that, but then again, I mean,
they also hit around Nola.
Would you rather take the chance? I mean, here's where I don't know if they would do that, because you have to think, if Noah Syndergaard for some reason only goes 3 innings, you're going to have to stretch out your bullpen. And then if you use Aaron Nola in Game 4 on short rest, you're going to stretch out your bullpen. You're fucking yourself. So you would probably try to take the odds of throwing your lefty, your rookie Suarez, and ride him.
You can at least go 5.
Right? Yeah, ride him as long as possible. I mean, either way,
they're in a tight spot.
Yeah, they're in a tight spot because they're going to have to stretch their bullpen. They're going to have to.
Because I get it, because it'd be 3 days rest, and then that would be Game 4. Then Wheeler would be full days rest Game 5. So you're at least maximizing one of your guys.
No, Wheeler would be on short rest.
I think it'd be
Wheeler would also be on.
He'd be
on 3 days rest as well.
Yeah, he'd be a day shy.
Oh yeah, he would. It would be
because
they'd have to both go.
I think they fucked it up by not going Wheeler Game 1.
I do too.
Really do.
I don't understand why they didn't. I get it. Like, because he would have been, it gave him another day. Why would you not want your ace starting Game 1? It's just
he would have been on short rest for Game 1.
But like for what, 4 days rather than 5 or
no,
3 days?
No. Wheeler would have had. They gave him an extra day. He would have been on normal rest. They gave him, his numbers were better on his 6th day than his 5th day.
As opposed to the 5th.
Correct. That's why I threw yesterday.
Dude, it's the World Series. Fuck that. You got to have your guy going. Now you're kind of screwed up. So, like I said again, if Syndergaard only goes 3 or 4, you're stretching your bullpen. If for some reason you want to start Nola in Game 4, that's going to be another bullpen game. And if you lose that, then you're fucked for Game 5. I
think overall the Astros have the advantage. It's going to everything is going to come down to the Phillies bullpen, I think.
And also the Phillies batters, I have to give them props on this before we go back to Q&A. They take fucking hacks.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Their approach is just like, we're swinging out of our shoes, and I love it. Like, as a baseball fan, like, they didn't shorten their swings. They were just like, this is who we are. Look at me. This is who I am. Love me for who I am, and we're gonna take hacks. That's what it felt like, and I respect the hell out of that. And so, man, it was just some, like, even in the last inning, like Segura's hacks in the 9th against Presley, who was just absolute spinning bullets. I was just like, this is absurdly awesome. This is absurdly awesome.
Yeah. What else we got Q&A wise?
This is from Axe. Have we really seen the best of what the Phillies pitching can do? I think their bullpen is still very deadly with Alvarado and Sir Anthony. So I think
we've seen the best from their starters. That's for sure.
The fact that their bullpen hasn't allowed a run yet, I think that's the best they can do now. Obviously, the best you can do is not allow a run, but I don't think that holds up.
But also, we hit the hell out of the baseball really hard. We had a lot of outs.
Yeah.
Late in the game, obviously they didn't find a spot, but
Game 1 too, they had multiple of those late innings with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, like I said earlier, like, you maximize opportunities. These guys get better and better when they face them.
What else?
All right.
Yeah. Is the Philly crowd more hostile than the Dodgers in New York? I don't think so, but I'd like to know y'all's opinion.
I mean, at this point, to me, it doesn't matter where they go. Doesn't matter. Everyone hates the Astros.
Yeah.
It will always be that way. They've played in some of the most hostile crowds. The Bronx, the Dodgers. Shit, they were... Dez, when me and you were there in Colorado for the snow game, they were ripping into them from all over the the So it doesn't matter. Philly's going to be wild.
It will be wild because they haven't been there
in
a while, but
it's going to be nuts.
I don't think it'll make a difference.
There's not a better time with the offense heating up on the front end and having Lance McCullers Jr. pitching behind that to take that crowd out of it. I mean, they're going to be loud regardless of the World Series, and they're fanatics and they're loud, but It's not like the Cueto chance and
I think
the Pirates,
I think if they win the first 5 innings, they win the game.
What a hot take, man. Um,
If they score more runs,
if they
will
score
win the game.
more
I just
ones,
mean-
they will win the game.
I just mean if they go into the 6th inning with a lead, it's theirs.
Yeah.
They'll hold it.
Altuve, Jordan, Bregman, and Tucker all heating up. This is from Astros Locker. Are the Phillies fucked but spelled Phuked?
Yes, they are.
Play words.
Clever.
Yes.
Yeah. Those guys.
Yeah. If Altuve continues to swing it like the last 2 games, then yeah. Good luck.
I'm calling a Jordan bomb off of Noah.
Ooh, I like that. I'm
Okay.
gonna say
I
say Breggs gets another one. What are the chances to get a Hensley sighting? That's from JP. Shout out the Rockets. Shout out Summit Boys.
What does he say? You have to wait.
Yeah, you just have to wait. I think what we'll see from Dusty to get Hensley in at bat will be a late inning pinch hit, and that's it for this.
Yeah, I mean, right now the DH spot is a black hole, and
does Jordan play left? In Philly?
Probably not.
Yeah,
Probably not.
I don't think so.
No, I think you'll see Diaz in left. Mancini should look. Mancini's numbers are abysmal, to put it to you lightly. He should not see another at bat the rest of the World Series. Diaz gives you, if you're looking at just Diaz and Mancini, Diaz gives you a better opportunity for production. And unless you're going to go with Hensley as left field or DH, then it's going to be Diaz and Jordan as DH left fielder.
Look, I would love Hensley in the DH. I think starting as a rookie on the road in Philly was probably not the most optimal start, but look, it can't get any worse than what it is. And if you're not starting Jordan in left, obviously Jordan's your DH. Look, Hensley, we've seen it on a short sample size, but even his outs are productive. He's grinding at bats. He's working pitch counts. That's all you can ask for to maximize your outs if you do get out. So, Dusty loves Hensley, so it's not a Dusty call. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Who's winning MVP for the Astros, and tell me why it's not Tuck. This is from Flagrant 3 Jerry. I mean, he's your leader in your clubhouse right now, right?
Yeah,
2 bombs.
1,500 OPS.
Yeah, Breggs is right there as well. I mean, there's a lot of baseball to be played. You get if this goes 6 and Framber closes it out. I mean, he's your MVP. So there's a lot of baseball left.
There's too much.
Yep.
There's like 4 or 5 guys.
There's a lot. There's a lot more moments to be had on both sides.
I said on Friday that Alex Bregman would win MVP for the World Series, and I'm sticking with it.
Wow, man.
I can see it.
Was game 1 a wake-up call to some things?
Dez froze. What did he say?
I'm frozen?
No, you were. What did he say?
I just said that's a good call, man.
No, he didn't. Josh, what did he say? Josh giggled.
He said, wow, man.
Okay.
It was a good call. I mean, I've been saying it since, the DS, but was game 1 a wake-up call to some things, or I'm just revisionist historying over here? This is from RJ Ochoa, who's actually covering the Cowboy game right now. So shout out for the question.
I got the Cowboys game on right now.
I don't think a wake-up call.
I don't think a wake-up call. I think it was just it spoke volumes of how they carry themselves. They never get too high, never got too low. Like Brian said, he was in the locker room, and it was just like, all right, we're on to the next one. Turn the page.
Yep.
I don't think they're dumb enough to expect the Phillies to be easy. Like they got what you expected out of Philly. Miyamoto, Schwarber putting up good at bats, hitting doubles. Like that's what you thought you might get.
I think you would have seen teams of years past let this affect them in game 2.
Yeah.
More than this year, because you have your Cy Young, you're up 5-0.
Yeah.
You're at home and you got punched in the mouth. Call it what it is. You got punched in the mouth, but the team responded and it was a must-win game and they won. So I think that's why this team is just different.
It's built different, man. There's just too much October experience in that clubhouse, just too much. And there's also, not to be understated, is Christian Vasquez is in that locker room. Will Smith is in that locker room. Both of those guys have a lot of postseason experience. So you add that into an already core group that has so much October experience. It's like what I heard those guys say after game one. Yeah, they're a good team. They got big bats. They have a good pitching staff. We got beat. We look to tomorrow. It's just one game. So I don't think it's what was the original question? Was it
wake up call?
Wake up call? I don't think it was a wake up call. Like you guys said, it's not a wake up call, but it's
a punch in the mouth.
Yeah, definitely. You got punched in the mouth. How do you respond?
Yeah, and they won round one. We won round two.
Yeah,
it's
the World Series, man.
Yeah. We got 3 more questions here. This is from postseason Berto. Hello, long-time listener, second-time caller here. What can Verlander do to get a postseason win? What do you think is the issue? His mentality being in the spotlight or just bad luck? I'll hang up and listen.
A little of everything,
I think it's dude, I still, and again, I don't want to rehash it. I don't want to have to go back to game one. But dude, it's like I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. He dominated going into the 4th inning. And then it's just like a little dinker here, a barrel here, a double here, and it just all falls apart.
Do you think it could be calling? Like getting a little predictable with the pitch calling. I mean, he did leave a couple curveballs up too.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I think for me, for some reason, the execution just wasn't there in that inning. And that's going to happen in outings. And it happens, right? It happens in outings, but now that we're in the World Series, everything is magnified, especially with Justin Verlander's past, where he doesn't have a World Series win. So everyone's going to be like, of course you can't win in the World Series. Of course you can't.
It is kind of wild. It's kind of wild that arguably the 2 best pitchers of our generation, Kershaw and Verlander, just
not good in the World Series.
It blows my mind because they're obviously Hall of Famers.
And that is why people are going to be like, what the hell are you talking? That's why baseball is the most beautiful game in the world.
Yeah.
Because you have 2 of generational talents in Clayton Kershaw and Justin Verlander, and they're not good in the World Series. Like at the pinnacle, at the very top of the goal that you want to get to every single year, and they don't pitch well in the World Series.
Game 5, do you have a short leash on him?
100%.
Verlander?
Yeah.
So you guys think they're going to go with Verlander?
No, they will.
Yeah, game 5?
Yeah.
He'll be on full rest, yeah.
Well, me and Michael Schwab were talking about who would you take a chance on throwing Urquidy? And so for me, this was my mindset on it. Likelihood of Verlander going game 5, probably pretty good. Me, depending on the series, why not throw Urquidy and see if you can get 5 solid from him? That lines up Verlander for game 6. And if you need a game 7, who's pitching game 7 at home? Framber Valdez. And I know that's another question in our Q&A.
Then you're choosing between McCullers game 7 or Urquidy game 5. And so you're wasting. You're wasting a McCullers.
Yeah, I think you get if you do that, you got way too cute, and we're having a different conversation. I think Jose Urquidy's capable of throwing game 5? Yes, he's 3-0, 100%.
I would have him ready out of the pen.
I'd have him and Luis ready to go.
If JV is having similar trouble in the 3rd, you have Urquidy ready.
So if it's Verlander game 5, then absolutely there's a short leash, and it's going to be Verlander. Like I think there's no question about it. But you have to have a short leash.
Yeah.
And also
you have somebody ready.
Isn't that crazy that we're having this discussion though? Like think about that. Like think about what we just discussed. Yeah, it might be a little bit of a stretch to say, oh, Urquidy could go game 5, but is it really?
It's not out of the realm of possibilities,
right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I think it's just he's not. His age is catching up to him a little bit to where when he is in that trouble, he can't just ramp up 99 anymore.
You see, I would say even with that being true, I want you to beat me with my fastball. It was curveball, slider, curveball. Like, and it was, I'm not slowing and they had 3 great innings. I'm going to go back and rewatch the game today, game 1, because we won game 2 and I'm now happy to watch game 1.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt as much,
but it's just, if I want the fastball, like beat me with my fastball. I don't want the Castellanos ass out, throw the barrel, like obviously he hung some other ones. Like if you're going to beat me, you're beating me when I'm throwing my fastball. And we'll see. I'll go back and watch it. But at the end of the day, like he's going to have to step up. He's going to have to step up in a game 5. Like all roads lead to Justin Verlander throwing game 5. Last 2 questions. This is from Samson.
Do a little rapid fire. Got a couple minutes left.
Yeah. Do you see the Astros moving on from JV after the season, given his struggles? I'm in the front office. I'm confident moving on and having Framber be the new ace. I don't think those
unless the price is ridiculously high.
I don't think those like because having Framber, do you move on from JV? I think if Justin Verlander wants to be an Astro, he's going to be a Houston Astro.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, because
I still think you bring him back.
Yeah.
Back.
Last question from WFits Austin 94. If this goes to 7, how likely would we see Valdez again? I would put all my trust in him. Only season I have watched every game, and when he's on the mound, I have absolutely 100% faith in him. Well, he's probably your game 6 starter, because you have Lance McCullers Jr. lined up for game 7, with him going game 3. So obviously having Valdez on the mound at home and getting a potential game 6 is huge. And I think a game 7 winner take all. Obviously you're throwing everyone. You have Lance, then you have Javier on 3 days rest. You have Luis, Urquidy, Hunter Brown, and then obviously the bullpen.
Oh yeah, well, we haven't talked. Hunter Brown hasn't come into.
Hasn't even seen anything. Yeah. Hasn't even seen anything yet. So that's all of the Q&A. Thank you guys for dropping those in. But series is 1-1, and it shifts to Philly, and it's a best of 5 now.
Got to feel pretty good with Lance McCullers and Christian Javier on the mound for the next 2 games. So we'll be back in a couple of days for another update. Josh, you want to get us out of here?
Also, just a programming note, we will be streaming. Is that correct tomorrow, Josh? Streaming?
Tomorrow night, we will be streaming on Twitch, on this YouTube channel, and on Twitter. We will be watching the game together as a family.
And then game 4, we will be at Buff Brew.
Yes.
For a watch party.
Yes, we will. Buffalo Bayou Brewing.
Make sure to follow the social medias at ApolloHOU.
Yep.
All right, take us out, Josh.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Beyond the Diamond podcast here on the Apollo Podcast Network. Thank you for listening. This is Josh. We have Dez and Brian, and that's it. Peace.
Did you write that down?
Dude, you had to write that down. You wrote that down.
You wrote that down.
He wrote that down.
We're making improvements.
Yeah, comment like below and tell us that you agree with us. Dude, that Josh wrote that down.
That was good stuff.
That was your best one yet.
Peace.
Peace.